So did I ever expect to be a designer and copywriter? No. Have I always been a creative in every way possible? Yes. Hey good people, I'm Sydney Hart, designer and copywriter. Welcome to the home of big brand energy. Blase, blase, blah. We'll skip the pleasantries because at this point, y'all know me. And I want to share a little bit more about my journey, right? I think that you watch this girl on YouTube every week. She talk a good game. Her website is cute. But like, what's he really giving? You know, like, what is it really giving? Like, how did she get to this point? Who is she? Where's she from? Da-da-da-da-da, all that, right? I actually didn't expect my journey to be so as expansive as it has been so far, right? But it has truly been a journey. It's been full of ups. It's been full of downs. It's been full of kindas, maybes. I don't know, but I'm gonna do it type of energy, you know? So let's get into it. First, I'll tell you about like how I knew I was a creative and how that energy was kind of introduced into my life. So I won't give you like a full rundown of my life because y'all don't really care about all that. But I have been creative my whole life. I remember when I was 7 years old, I would go down into our the basement of our house, and my mom got me this like cheap little, well, I don't want to say it's cheap. I don't know if it's cheap, but she got me this like tiny kid easel that I used to paint on. And I used to go down there and I would play my keyboard. I was also a musician for a little bit, so I would play my keyboard. I would practice my cello. I would practice my singing. I would choreograph dances. Like, that was my space, right? Mainly because we had squeaky hardwood floors upstairs and my mama wasn't going for that. So I had to go downstairs. So I knew I had wanted to be in the creative field my whole life. I thought I was going to be an author. I thought I was going to be a stunt woman in movies. I also thought I was going to be a painter because that's what I loved. But when I got to high school is where everything shifted for me. I took a introduction to media course and it changed my life. When I decided to take this class, I remember sitting in my like academic counselor, or no, it was like the school counselor. I was sitting in the school counselor's office. I was a freshman? Yeah, I was a freshman. I was nervous as hell. And I was just like, look, I just need something to fill my schedule so I can like get to class. I was about to be late. It was a whole bunch of stuff. So he put an introduction to media course and I was like, oh, this is gonna be easy. Like, I'm creative. I know, I ain't know nothing in all reality. But that's where like it blossomed for me. Like, at that specific school, I was there for 2 years. So I took a media course every single semester of every single year. So there I learned like the basics of design. We did a lot of like print and web design. A lot of you like designer OGs know about Dreamweaver. That is where I first learned how to design websites. Like, we did the templated thing where we made a website for a chef. We remixed the movie trailers. We made PSAs. We filmed commercials. We wrote scripts. And my later when I was there, I actually volunteered to show up to school early and help produce the morning news show. Now, these TVs they had was like 50 years old, but for some reason we had the like school news show plastered around the school. And I remember them asking me like, do you want to be an anchor? Do you want to do? And I was like, no, I want to be behind the scenes. I don't want to do none of that. And I remember one of our specific projects, our print projects, we had to design a newsletter, and that was when I was introduced to Coachella. So I was obsessed. I made a fake newsletter for Coachella that was like 10 pages long. And it was just a really, really cool experience. And from there, I transferred schools. I was still very creative in that sense. I actually thought I was going to go into music production and music engineering, which I love music to this day. But that's also where I found a rebirth of love of dance, right? So high school was a roller coaster, but it was also like a crash course in everything media, everything communications. And that's when I decided that communications was what I wanted to do, at least with my degree, right? I wasn't really sure like about the whole career thing, but I knew like, okay, this is definitely what I want to go to school for so I can learn more about it. So I went to an HBCU and I studied mass communications, specifically broadcast journalism. I wanted to do like TV and film, but they didn't have that. So like broadcast production or broadcast journalism specifically was the closest thing to that. And nevertheless, it was really fun. Like I got a whole bunch of experience writing for the newspaper. I was in the band. I also got to, of course, design a whole bunch. And that really felt like that experience, my 4 years there specifically, was a crash course in content creation, right? So high school was all about like opening my eyes to the world of media. College was about like, girl, this is how you make it. This is how you distribute it. This is how you leverage it to build a career, right? So we were producing podcasts. We were, again, making PSAs, editing, writing, designing. And I, at that point, I had decided that journalism necessarily wasn't for me, right? I respect all of my peers in the field. I actually have friends who are journalists and like anchors and stuff right now, but I know me and I knew that I wanted more freedom, right? I wanted more freedom of expression. I wanted a way to express myself that didn't necessarily have parameters. So I decided, okay, I'm gonna finish out this degree. But after that, we're going to figure out something else. I don't know what's coming, but it's coming. And so through college, I actually had a bunch of internships. And I have my notes here so I can like read them off because it was interesting. So I was a content creation intern for a nationally renowned public speaker where I designed her graphics, I posted, I wrote captions for her. I was a media assistant for my actual university my last year. So I took pictures, I interviewed folks, I archived photography for the university, and I made some really cool connections, and that was really fun. I was also an intern for the USDA, working in the Civil Rights Office. So that was really cool, and that kind of lit my fire for activism in a way. But that was also where I realized that like, now I do what I gotta do. But that was when I realized that like a traditional corporate setting wasn't necessarily something I was looking forward to. And not even a corporate setting, one that didn't allow me, like I said, the freedom that I really wanted to create on my own terms. And work with the folks that I desire to, right? So internships are great for showing you what you want to do as well as for what you're not too keen on. I also was a marketing intern for several social media managers. I was a TV and film intern for a producer, as well as a like design and writing intern for a national blog and magazine, right? So I had tons of experience. I had a lengthy resume in terms of like entry-level experience, but I also lost my scholarship. So that USDA program was amazing, but due to some stuff that happened when I was in school, there was a bit of mental health going on, mental health issues, which resulted in me in my GPA dropping. I needed a 3.0 to keep my scholarship. I had a 2.8. I was so pissed, but I lost my scholarship, right? And I needed money. So my senior year, I decided to sell logos. I decided to sell $30 logos, $50 logos. I think the first 10 were free. But if I can find them, I will pop them all in here and I will like show you all what they look like. It was mostly for like family and friends, folks who did hair, folks who did nails, folks that sold clothes, things of that sort. And it was a learning experience in a sense, but it was truly where I figured out, okay, I love this experience of designing something and providing it to their business and watching them grow with it, right? I absolutely loved that feeling. Now, one thing I will say, early in my design journey, like my business design journey, I definitely, the process could have been better, right? I was talking about design work over a text message and email and didn't have a contract and was just like going off of what folks told me to do and didn't necessarily have like a strategy in place, right? So once I graduated, I rebranded my business. Technically, I had went by my name for the longest, but eventually I decided on the name of With Hart Creative Studio, which I thought was really cute because my last name is Hart and I do everything with Hart. So I was like, oh, that's nice. Like, that's catchy. Got an LLC, joined a few coaching programs. And that was when I discovered brand strategy and actually having a process and sales calls and contracts and invoices and predictable income. All of this stuff that I was like, nobody told me this. Who was supposed to tell me this? Like, nobody told me this. So that was a really amazing time for me because at the same time I was working jobs, right? So I was doing my business like early in the morning, at night, and I was working as a waitress at a comedy club. I was working at a call center. I worked at several food places. So it was a lot of juggling at once. At one time, technically, I had like 4 jobs because I had my business, I had 2 jobs, and I had an internship out of college. So there was a lot going on. Ask me about that later. But for right now, let's continue the story. So since then, I've rebranded, well, including that last kind of name change, I've rebranded once with my visuals because I realized that the type of clients that I want to attract, the type of folks that I want to work with, even the other designers that I want to collaborate with, the look just needed to be a little bit cleaner, right? So I redid my photo shoot. I booked folks to actually help me out. I rewrote all of my copy, which I can tell you a little bit about my copywriting journey later down the line, because that's been ordained in itself. But my design journey has been something that I've been really, really proud of. I'm really proud to say that I have a buttload of experience, at least 10 years of experience with like design work and internships and degrees and certifications and programs and just life in general. And no one told me about like an online entrepreneurship thing. Like, I didn't even know that was a thing, right? I watched my mom and like other family friends start their businesses, but it was always a physical thing, right? It was always, let me go to the farmer's market and sell this thing. Let me show up to church and try to sell this thing. But it was never like, I'm going to create a website and sell this stuff or, create this business. So online entrepreneurship is an amazing experience. When it comes to my design journey in itself, I will say it's very unique in a way. I've been blessed to be able to figure out my business and figure out what works because I do have the leverage of having jobs and having other gigs every now and then. So it really gives me the flexibility to be like, I'm gonna switch my mind, I'm gonna change my mind, I'm gonna, so it really does help. So I want to just encourage any other designers or online entrepreneurs who are in your first few years of business, do not give up. Literally, there were so many times I was like, I'm done.
I just can't. I can't.
You know what? I can just close the laptop and go do something else, right? But part of me just has this inkling of faith that like this journey in itself is gonna pay off, right? No matter how hard it gets, no matter what I go through, no matter how many difficult moments that I have, it's going to work out. And if it doesn't, that is okay. That has no connection to my worth, to my value, to my intelligence, to my talent. It just simply didn't work out, right? So either way, I'm gonna have faith that it will, but even if it doesn't, it'll be okay. I didn't mean to preach today, but I just want to share that with you. That message was just placed in my soul, because who knows who can come across this video, right? It could be somebody 6 months in business. It could be somebody 5 years in business, and they're both at the same point where they're like, look, I won't give up too. We're in the same boat. But as long as you continuously work on your craft, strategize, plan, and get a community that can hold you down, get a group chat, get some family members, get a Facebook group, get genuine people in your corner, mentors, coaches, etc. You cannot lose. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna wrap this up because your girl's about to go shout in a minute. Okay, I thank you so much for joining me in the home of Big Brand Energy. I encourage you, as always, to keep going after your dreams, build the brand of your dreams, and I'll see you here next week.